Item 2. In order to scrutinize all of this, in order to fully clarify all this, we need to make some preliminary inquiries and not, God forbid, where it is forbidden in the Creator's essence, of which we have no thought or perception whatsoever, and thus have no thought or utterance of Him. But where we're commanded to inquire, meaning the inquiry of His deeds. It is as the Torah commands us, know the God of your father and serve Him. And as it says in the poem of unification, by your actions we know you. Thus, inquiry number 1 is, how can we picture a new creation, something new that is not included in Him before He creates it? When it's obvious to any observer that there is nothing that is not included in Him.
So the question is very interesting. Did the Creator create something new? What could be something new that wasn't in Him? It was in the thought. Fine, so it was in the thought, and He did it in matter, in practice, but it did exist in the thought. And how can it be that if it weren't in the thought, in what way was it? How can it be? How can there be something that didn't have any preparation for it in advance, any root? What did it come from? From zero, from absolute zero, without any beginning. That's the question. Can something like that be in nature at all or not? That if He has created something, it's certain that He created it from Himself. And if it's from Himself, then it's certain that in us there's something from Him. So if it's from Him, it's not new.
Inquiry number 2. If you say that from the aspect of His almightiness, of course, He can create existence from absence, something new that is not in Him, there arises the question, what is this reality which can be determined as having no place in Him at all, but is completely new?
In other words, if He really did something new, what is new? Meaning that doesn't exist in Him, that wasn't missing. If He is complete, how can it be that it wasn't in Him? That He created existence from absence, from nothing, that didn't exist, and decided that it is missing and must be created. So first, I suppose it wasn't missing, or is missing, and after creation it's not missing anymore. Go on.
Inquiry number 3. Kabbalists have said that man's soul is a part of God above. So there's no difference between him and the soul, except he is the whole and the soul is a part. They compared it to a rock carved from a mountain. There's no difference between the rock and the mountain, except that one is the whole and the other is a part. Thus, we must ask, it is one thing that a stone carved from the mountain is separated from it by an axe made for that purpose, causing the separation of the part from the whole. But how can you picture this about Him, that He will separate a part of His self until it departs His self and becomes separated from Him, meaning a soul, to the point that it can be understood only as a part of His soul?
In other words, there is something that he decided he doesn't have, but he wants to create it. How did he create it? How did he separate it from himself? And that thing is important to him. But what was he, how was he without it before? So there are many such cosmological questions that it didn't exist before and now it does, and it developed from it. And why? Is it a flaw from the perspective of the Creator that he didn't have creation in him before? Or maybe it's the other way around. By this he rises even higher. So many such questions on the borderline of philosophy and cosmology. But the wisdom of Kabbalah looks at it differently, of course. Question.